It's 2024 and I'm jumping back into Fallout 76. It's been a while since I last played, but back in the day I covered this game a lot, and I'm curious to see how things have changed since I've been away. I decide I want to start a brand new character, but that does mean I need to kill off an old one to free up a slot. The Craftinator is the only one on the list I had no attachment to, so away they go. The game starts off with a short cutscene, explaining the existence of Vault 76, and being very, America is the best and it's so important that we continue on our country like it was, which I am not on board with. If things get wiped out, I'm 100% down for doing things better the next time around. I don't want to survive an apocalypse just to rebuild society the way it was before. And really? We're sticking with America as the name? Not only is it already a bit confusing that the US gets called America when it's just a part of North America, but surely there's a cooler name that we can come up with. Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Anyway, cinematic over, now it's time for me to create my character. And I do a pretty terrible job at this. I've made so many Fallout characters in the past, and they mostly looked pretty good. I don't know how my face sculpting skills have atrophied so far, but I'm able to even things out a little bit, and then touch things up with a bit of makeup, a few bruises, and scars. Because scars are sexy. The final part of character creation is naming them, and somehow I'm even less prepared for this. Fingers crossed I can rename them at a later date. I rush out of the vault at max speed and emerge into the light of Appalachia. But before I can actually explore, I get to pick a special loadout. This is a new thing for me. Normally you just start the vault at level 1, but instead you can be a level 20 character, which seems much stronger. Before I head into combat to see how strong a level 20 character is out the gate, I take a look at my weapons, and I swear my gun looks too big. Maybe it's just because I've been playing third-person games recently, but the reflex sight on this combat rifle seems huge. All works out okay when I get into combat, but it also does come with the unpleasant realization that enemies match level with me, so I'm not actually as powerful out the vault as I think I am. The hunting rifle I have is also pretty garbage. This is a great range weapon once it's got a good sight and stuff, but when missing all the mods, it's really just unpleasant to use. Around the vault there's some looting to do and some people to talk to, but what I really care about is the donations box. I'd say that easily the best thing about this game is the community. Ever since launch day, people have been leaving items at the vault entrance for new players, just to give them a helping hand. Bethesda adding in these donation boxes where people can leave stuff safely for others to take is really cool. And the reason I say these is because there's a whole bunch of them in the game. Pretty much every super popular location in the game now has one of these boxes, and that's the kind of positive addition I like to see in online games. Immediately out of the vault, I have a couple of quests to be getting on with. The whole Wayward storyline is one I've done plenty of times before, but this new daily quest is new to me, so I head down to the lumber mill and chat to the guy in charge. Apparently
We've had reports that a dangerous cult, the Cult of the Mothman, has moved into a cave system nearby.
But instead of wanting me to kill these dangerous cultists, they'd prefer I just gather some of their knickknacks instead. On my way to the cultist cave, I set up a public team in order to get more intelligence. For those who didn't know, the higher your intelligence, the more XP you earn, so that's also where all my level ups will be going. With that sorted, I head into the cave, and the vibes. I left the game before the big cultist takeover happened, so haven't been to this location before. But I kinda love it. There's several areas in this game which do the dark and creepy theme really well, and it works so well in Fallout generally, but even more so in this game, which is a bit brighter and more vibrant in the environments. The juxtaposition between the sunlit serenity of the forest and the deep dark caves is something I absolutely adore. With the cultists all killed and their stuff stolen, I decide to walk back to Responders to turn in the quest. To fast travel across Appalachia you need to pay caps, and I'm a real cheapskate, so decide to just run the whole way instead. Turns out this was very much the smart move, as I'm only given 15 caps for all my hard work. This meagre reward isn't really enough to get me anywhere, so I decide my next mission will be to upload a US government supply requisition holotape. Going to a radio tower and plugging this in will cause supplies to be dropped nearby, and if you watch my Redfall video, you know how much I love supply drops. It's time to call in more fucking supply drops. Jesus Christ. Why the fuck does this game have so many supply drops? Feels pretty typical then that the drop happens miles away, meaning I need to run across half the length of the forest in order to find it. And when I finally crack it open, there's nothing noteworthy inside. While off looking for something worthwhile to pick up, I start gaining teammates, so give them a quick friendly wave. It pays to be nice in this game after all. A short time later, I come across this player camp, which is quite the sensory overload. I head inside and there's some weights which give me a bit of a strength buff by lifting them, meaning I can carry even more loot. Once my workout is complete, I step outside and one of my teammates shows up with a gift. This is my first time back to the game in so long, and I already have a fixer. For those not familiar with my old content, the fixer was very much my gun. I made multiple videos about it, and the guide on the weapon is one of my most viewed videos I've ever made. Being given this weapon really brings me back into the game, and just feels special. Because it's such a lovely gift, I test it out on some nearby Scorched, and it performs wonderfully. We're probably halfway through this video now, so it's about time I come up with a goal to achieve by the end. I decide that I want to build a camp. Camp building is a big part of this game for a lot of the community, so it seems like a fitting goal to head towards. Plus, I know exactly where to build it. In the past, I made a mini-series where I built the perfect camp. Or more accurately, got drunk, failed to make anything in the first episode, and had a breakdown. This is going to work perfectly this time, and nothing will go wrong. Why won't you store? Why are bugs screaming everywhere? Just screw you, everything. Screw you. This location is one I love to build at, but unfortunately I'm running low on materials as I can't even build a junk extractor. As luck would have it, the Uranium Fever public event is currently occurring, and this one is great for getting a bunch of junk in your trunk. Or stash box as it's actually called. There's a bunch of mole miners that spawn in with this, including some legendaries, and they'll all have junk on them to be scrapped down. Despite being the lowest level person here, I'm still able to help out with the event and get plenty of rewards for doing so. In fact, I've got so much loot that I need to head to the White Spring train station in order to script my legendaries and scrap all my excess weapons for junk. I also make sure to head to the White Spring itself, really just for the fact it's a key fast travel location, but Minerva is there so I peruse her wares. She only accepts gold and I'm a broke bitch, so can't afford any of the cool plans that she sells. Back to looking for junk and plans for base building, and at this point I think the smartest thing is to head back towards the starting areas of the game. First stop is Flatwoods, where there's plenty of junk for me to loot, plus the Overseer's cache, which contains some bulk wood, which is pretty much the best reward I could ask for. After that is a short walk up the road to the old Overseer's camp, where I pick up even more junk, and then across the road to the Wayward for a nice cold pint. Unfortunately, someone is making a ruckus, so I put a couple of rounds in the back of their head. Look, this is the post-apocalypse. There's no laws anymore, so if someone's being loud and obnoxious, I'm just gonna kill them. I like my apocalypses quiet and polite, thank you very much. With that done, I'm given a cold pint and get to chat a little bit about base building. Duchess is kind enough to give me some raw materials, and Mort gives me some educational holotapes.
When plunking down your camp, C-A-M-P, that's an acronym, for the first time, remember to... crap, where'd that note... here we go. Remember to take the lay of the land.
Honestly, doesn't sound any worse than the parts of these videos that I cut out. With all the materials gathered, I start the build. I make a platform going out into the water before creating my extractor and a rustic water generator to power it. I also realise that this Brotherhood of Steel prefab exists, so decide to build it as a backup house on the side, because I know all too well what my level of building skills are. With that done, I built up the rest of the house with windows, walls, and a roof. Well, most of a roof anyway. Using the photo mode to give a bit of a cinematic view, it becomes clear that the walls look a little bare, so I decide I'm going to change them all to windows, and also add some wallpaper, and just look at how pretty it is now. I may have run out of wood so can't really finish the build, but that just leaves more building for the future. I am planning on live streaming on Thursday at around 6 PM UK time, so if you want to see more of this game and see if I can actually build up my base properly, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can watch that when it goes live. Better yet, join the Discord server where I let everyone know about new videos. Link's always in the description. Don't forget to like, and apologies if I sounded weird, I had a tooth pulled the other day, so my voice is going to be funny for a little while. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.